All right, Ross. What's up, man? What's good with you, brother?
Man, you know me, man. I'm here to separate the weak from the strong. You know what I'm
I can
saying?
tell.
What you here to do, man?
Well, keep the foot on the necks and
Put
put
it
on,
up.
dog. And put on, man. That I had to listen to that put on. I listened to that shit for about a good 30 minutes, man. I just kept running that
Right,
motherfucker back, bro.
right.
Sometimes you just gotta run a fucking song back. But you know what's the part I was running back? You don't get me wrong, I like Jeezy now, but I kept running that damn Yeezy, boy.
Yeah, Kanye had the best verse on that song.
Hell yeah, he did.
Yeah,
That motherfucker went off, man. that
he had the best verse on
motherfucker
that
went
song.
off.
That was his
Mhm.
era where every time he jumped on anything, he was killing it.
Yeah, yeah, that is true, boy. He's man, that sometimes you just gotta ride a fucking song, and sometimes that song, every time you listen to it, it give you a different perspective, man.
Yep.
So yeah, man, we this is a two-pronged live because we gotta talk about beta male moisture, obviously, in the boxing world. I'm just sick and tired of the bullshit. So this is what motherfuckers gonna get us on live. They like us best when we're on live. So let's get to the nitty gritty of it.
Mm-hmm.
First and foremost, once again, we need to reiterate: there's no such thing as Crawford and Spence 2 is in jeopardy. I'm tired of having to explain this shit 1,000 times. Crawford versus Spence 2, and y'all need to stop listening to these beta males that's telling you otherwise. Crawford and Spence 2 is going to happen. There's no choice behind that. It is a two-fight contractual obligation. When somebody signs on the dotted line, unless they die, I'm going to make this very clear how business works. Unless the motherfucker dies,
They're
unless the
not
motherfucker
reneging.
is paralyzed, God forbid, wouldn't want that to happen. But unless those two situations happen, you are contractually obligated to those terms. In boxing, they have such a thing, and Ross knows what I'm talking about. And this is why a lot of fighters, they hate this shit, because a lot of fighters understand the dark element of the sport. Back in the days, the old school fighters, they used to have them sign contracts in blood. This was like some satanic type shit. You used to sign your contract in blood. And we're talking about going back from the slavery days before it was even instituted into actual boxing. They used to make the slaves sign what's called blood contracts
Mm-hmm.
in order for them to go in and have fights. So when it's all said and done, there's no way around it.
I,
Terence Crawford has to fight Errol Spence. He can't entertain Canelo Alvarez. He can't entertain Jamel Charlo. Those two guys are fighting. So y'all need to get that bullshit and fuck shit out of your heads. Jerome Boots Ennis, he can't even entertain that fight. The only
yeah,
fight that's in front of him, and the only legacy fight that's in front of him, is Spence versus Crawford. Go ahead, Ross.
the problem is a lot of Crawford fans are secretly homosexual,
Yep.
and when you are attracted to a man or you emotionally connected to him, then you don't want to see no harm to him. You don't want him to be in no jeopardy or nothing. Because you gotta
Yep.
look at how they say shit. They say Spence got his back blown out by Crawford. That's a sexual innuendo.
That's
Why
a
are you
person that's
making
struggling with their sexuality.
why are you making a sexual innuendo? You see Crawford sexually,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because there's nothing cool or there's no way you can change that to something else. No, you said one man fucked another man,
Yep.
got his back blown out. Because
Yep.
that's not something that's not boxing talk. Boxers
Yep.
don't say I blew his back out. They say I touched
Yep.
him up. They say I
Yep.
touched him up.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They say I gave him work. You know what I mean? I gave him some good work. They don't say
Yeah.
I blew his back out.
Yeah.
That's homosexual talk, right?
Yeah.
And the reason why that is because they're not really fans of Spence. I mean of Crawford because they don't even support his fights. They're
Yeah.
fanatics of Crawford,
Exactly.
and a fanatic would like you because they hate somebody else.
Exactly.
Like all these white college people who college fans, they're watching every team that play against Colorado because they want Deion Sanders to lose. They're not
Yeah.
fans of those teams. They just
Yeah.
want Deion Sanders to lose.
Yeah.
I don't know what you mean. Men in my
We
family,
understand what you mean. We don't know what you mean because
I
what
don't
we
know what you mean.
understand What we understand is what's called psychology, and what
Yeah.
we understand is projection. You're projecting your homosexuality into boxing, but we
Right,
don't
right.
know what you mean.
I don't know what you mean because men in my family don't speak that way.
Mm-hmm.
We don't speak that way. We don't say another man blew another man back out.
Exactly.
Even if it's really happened, even if it's two homosexual guys, we don't talk. That's their talk. That's for them. We see two
Exactly.
niggas in a relationship. That's none of our business.
What was the other dude's name that used to come on this live? The one that was
It's probably him. Look
the
at the name.
prevalent.
Look at
Yeah.
the avatar. Look at the name.
Okay. It
People who
probably
make
is him.
people who make avatars and names that they can hide behind, they say shit like this.
Yeah, he was a very prevalent talking about Terence Crawford's package, which was very disturbing and it was very alarming. Like, why do men talk about men's package? I mean, when I'm in the gym working out and a guy will come up to me and touch me, I always have to tell him first and foremost, why the fuck are you touching me?
Right.
Like, that's weird. Oh, it's just your muscles, man. I like the way. No, don't fucking touch me.
Man, yeah, man. Don't touch
Don't
me.
fucking touch me.
You transfer energy that way. Why are you touching me?
Yeah, I was like, don't fucking touch me.
Like, bro.
You know, like I get it. You wanna stare all the way from afar and stare where I'm not even looking, so I don't even know you're in the direction of staring.
But here's the thing: is a lot of dudes who go to the gym and keep up with their body like real crazy.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them not heterosexual. A lot of them are fans. You're in the minority. A lot of those guys,
Mm-hmm.
they're there to try to see who else like them. They try to touch you, and you like, hold on, man. And that's a test. That touch is a test. Because if you allow that touch, they're gonna do something else. Next thing you know, they try to play.
They can just snap you in the butt or some shit.
Well, yeah. Next thing you know, they playing with your hair and shit, playing with you. Next thing you know, they telling you what man blew another man back out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Why would you say that? But anyway, I said all that to say. So they'll take perfectly logical questioning of a fighter and say it's an excuse.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone knows when a fighter squeezes their gloves in between rounds,
it's
because they don't want their gloves to look like they're tampered with. So they're squeezing the cushion to the front, so when they take a picture, it don't look like nothing.
Exactly.
That's why they're doing that in between rounds and whenever they can. There's no reason for you to do that. Only fighters who cheat do that. Notice that. All fighters don't do that.
I have to give you credit
Only
for
fighters
that.
who cheat do that because they want their gloves to look right in between swinging.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they do it. Tyson Fury did it. So did Crawford, because they're dealing with tampered gloves. We've watched 50 Floyd Mayweather fights. We've never seen Floyd Mayweather gloves look like how Crawford look.
Mm-hmm.
They look boxy. Crawford's gloves look boxy.
Yep.
Why do they look boxy?
Salute to Marquise for the $10 cash app. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about.
How do you
make sure y'all donate to motivate, man? That's what we need. We need donation for motivation, because that's what we do this for, man. Donate to motherfucking motivate, man. You know what I'm saying? Show us the love that we deserve, man. Every time y'all step up in this motherfucker, donate to motivate. Go ahead, Ross.
Yeah, so you gotta understand one thing. Majority of boxing fans are casuals, and the majority of boxing fans watch boxing from the traditional way. The traditional way was the root for your race or the root against black people. Let's be honest.
Yep.
And that's what they watch for. They don't watch to see the best fighters. They tear down the best black fighters until there's a great white hype that they could get behind. And then if that great white hype loses, then they try to discredit the fight. Or they'll like a black fighter if they're in the promotional company that's owned by a white man.
Facts.
They don't like Al Heyman. Why? What did Al Heyman do to anybody? Al Heyman owns his own company.
Well,
they don't like black success.
They don't like him because he's black.
They don't like black success. They like certain black people. They like black-owned people. They like black-owned.
Even the motherfuckers, even the certain black people that they supposedly like, they don't like them. They just tolerate them. It's called toleration. They're just tolerating them. But they really, when it's time for them to turn on them motherfuckers, they'll turn on them quick, fast, in a hurry. Like UPS. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't really like Crawford, man. Cause the proof's in the pudding. When you really like a fighter, you buy their fights. You support them. Crawford has not sold more than 150,000 pay-per-view buys by himself. Never. So he don't really got fans like that.
So when a black man says that more black fighters need to look up to a
He's
white
not a black
man,
man. He's hiding
then you're not
behind
a
the
black man.
avatar. Yeah, he's not a black
Exactly.
man. Yeah.
You're basically what we call a black person by skin, but you're really white on the inside. That's exactly what the fuck you are.
Or you're Mexican. Only
You're
Mexicans.
clearly a follower of Showbiz the adult.
Right.
Now you're giving us Showbiz the adult vibes, because that's what he is. Showbiz
Right.
the adult, if he can burn off of his black skin, anything that is a remnant of him being black and be white, he would do that in a
He
heartbeat.
would do that. He would do that.
He would do that.
He would do that.
If they gave him a switch to where he could snap his finger and turn white, he would do that. You know who else would do that too? Blue Blood Sports TV. If Blue Blood Sports TV could snap his finger and be white, he would fucking do it.
In a heartbeat.
In a fucking heartbeat.
In a heartbeat, man.
So when you talk like that and you say people should be looking up to Canelo instead of Floyd, Canelo was copying Floyd in terms of trying to be like Floyd from a marketability standpoint. He just couldn't live up to it.
He's saying that to troll.
I know.
Anybody in their right mind know that nobody in boxing want to be like Canelo.
No one.
They just know that speaking nicely of him,
yep.
is what the boxing powers that be want them to do. They want to stay in good graces, but nobody want to be like. Let's look at the young fighters coming up. Nobody wants to fight like Canelo. They all want to fight like Floyd.
And Floyd is the athlete. Yeah. Floyd is the athlete of the decade for 20 years. And he's an athlete of the decade twice. The reason why we could say that is because boxing, there's three sports that actually there are four sports that you could rate higher than team sports. And I will always rate them higher than a basketball, football. You know, I would just always rate them higher. The less people you play with, and then you get to a point where you play individually by yourself, the more pressure is on you. Boxing is one of those. Golf is one of those. Tennis is one of those. And racing, whether if it's Formula One or NASCAR, these types of fucking sports, you are by yourself. This is a sport where it's all you. This is a sport where it's your skill set.
And you can't blame it on nobody else. Like
you can't blame it on nobody else. So the level of pressure is on a level that's not even understandable. So not taking away anything from MJ. MJ's MJ. But if we're leveling it on the level of GOATness, Tiger Woods' GOATness and Floyd Mayweather's GOATness, if we're being honest with ourselves, is on a higher level than an MJ or Kobe's GOATness because of the fact that they played in an individual sport and they had to do it from an individual standpoint.
And let's not forget about Serena and Venus Williams. But the reason why Kobe and Jordan Wright is right there with them, even though they played the team sports, because they played it in a way to where they took responsibility.
Facts.
And so did Tom. Tom played it in a way where he took responsibility.
Yes.
Peyton Manning even when he had bad games, he said, I need to play better. He didn't say, these guys ain't blocking for me.
Exactly.
It's how you handle yourself in a team sport. But people
don't give Floyd Mayweather credit because Floyd Mayweather has dominated in a sport for 2 decades in an individual sport. No matter how much money he amassed, no matter how much fame this guy got, he always fought every fight like he was broke, like it was the first fight all over again. So to not give him the respect that he deserves, you gotta be a fool. You gotta be a fool.
Yeah, understand, man. It's to the point where people will make up accounts, hide their anything you say. You know how they be like an anonymous source that says Lamar Jackson, no matter how many MVPs he makes, he'll never be a real quarterback. Whenever you say something anonymously, it's not to be taken too seriously. You can't put your name behind it. You can't put your face behind it. These aren't our real names, but these are real faces.
Exactly.
And we're known by these names. So people who see us in the streets, they know we said something. Exactly. You hide behind Soulja Boy. Like what you say, it's not to be taken seriously. That's the reason why you can't show your true face, because you probably don't get taken seriously in real life.
And people don't even take Soulja Boy seriously. So that makes you even double not being taken seriously. At least you would think that. And people are a product of who they represent. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, going back to this conversation, because I feel like we've already dried out all of the beta male moisture. The bottom line is Terence Crawford is in a 2-fight contractual or contractually obligated situation. He has to fight Spence. Spence had to activate the rematch clause in 30 days. And this whole bullshit that Terence Crawford is doing, which are what it's called is the rigmarole of Terence Crawford understanding his fan base. If Terence Crawford is nothing, he's smart enough to know his fan base are stupid motherfuckers. So he could say anything to rile them up. So when he sits there and says, well, Errol didn't let me know what weight class, Errol already did let you know, because on Twitter, he said he moved up to 154.
No,
then on top of that, he said he can no longer make 147 anymore.
He said after the post fight. He said,
and then he said it at the end of the post fight.
Yeah.
And then Terence Crawford at the end of the post fight said, I can no longer make 147 anymore. So for him to then come back now all of a sudden and to say, well, Spence never told me what weight we're going to do it at, and we need to discuss it. Listen, I'm going to tell you guys right now. Yes, Terence Crawford technically can push the narrative to say, hey, I want this fight to be at 147. But I already done told you, that's a very flexible term in the contract, because all that has to happen, and even Terence Crawford knows that, throw a few more M's my way. Al Heyman's going to sweeten the pot. Stephen Espinosa going to sweeten the pot. They'll tell him, look, you're going to get a few more M's on the back end. Terence Crawford already know now, because he's already touched the money. He already knows what that money looked like, and he already know what that money feels. So he knows that extra M's are guaranteed. So guess what? The fight is going to happen at 154. Because at the end of the day, both fighters are going to fight a fight at their best. The reason why everyone's going to want both of these fighters at their best is because they saw what this fight did for the sport of boxing. So they're not going to handicap both fighters. They're going to make sure both fighters are at their best. Terence Crawford did everything he needed to do. He got everything he wanted at 147. So why reinvent the wheel? Did you not get undisputed at 147? Did you not become two-time undisputed? So what more do you need to do at that same weight class? Now it's about the second fight at 154. That's the way it's going to fucking roll.
You got to understand one thing. Crawford fans are like him. They're cowards. So they know that he didn't win fair and square. They know that. They don't want an even playing field. They know it's not going to be good for Crawford. If he can't cheat, load his gloves, if he can't take snack, or if he can't fight at 147 and drain Spence, they know it's going to be a long night for him. So whenever somebody bring it up, they say excuses. They're gaslighting people for bringing up logical retorts.
Exactly.
If you said you struggled to make 147, then the obvious choice is for y'all to fight at 154.
Yep.
So why are you now saying I don't know where we're fighting at? If you can't make 147 and you just won, so you're the A side now, you're supposed to be saying 154 yourself. It shouldn't matter what Errol Spence is saying. You should be like 154. So why all of a sudden you act confused? The only people who are side with something like this are people who are cowards as well.
Exactly.
People who play games like that. People are men who are feminine as well, who act like their mothers, who say one thing but don't follow through.
Yep.
Who give their word and try to take it back. Who's everywhere because they're emotional, no logic. So they can't even understand men like us who are logic. Who heard you say something and hold you accountable. Like, no, they're up and down like this because Crawford's up and down like this. They're everywhere the wind blows. Right. But a man heard him say he struggled to make 147. So that means the fight's going at 154.
Yep.
And now that you try not to do that, lets us know what we previously thought. You want Errol Spence at a very disadvantage where he can't win.
Exactly.
That's it. You want him at a disadvantage. You don't care about what.
And the trippy part about it, bro, is when you hear people sound stupid like that and sound foolish like that, their whole thing is they want situations to fall in favor and in line with how they think. Usually when people root for someone, they're rooting for that person because that person has a similar thing about them that matches their ideology, that matches how they move. So Terence Crawford is sneaky by nature. So these individuals are sneaky by nature. So of course they're going to side with Terence Crawford because of the fact that he's sneaky we're sneaky too. That's how people operate.
Right.
Terence Crawford is giving you hoopla right now. He's not telling you the truth. Because when you look at the truth of the fact of the matter, the truth of the fact of the matter is as simple as this, that Terence Crawford has no choice. And when we say he has no choice in the sense of he has to honor the 2-fight deal. So that rematch clause has been activated within 30 days. If you notice, Errol's not even wasting his time to even try to counteract Terence Crawford because Errol knows the contract is set in stone. And if you know anything about contracts, once a contract is set in stone, you can't divert from it. You have to accept the fucking terms of the contract. So Errol right now is training. Errol right now is prepping his mind. Errol right now is preparing for October, well, preparing for December, because that's what they have it billed for right now. Right now, in their minds, it's billed for a December fight. They haven't figured out what time in December they're trying to do. I think they're trying to figure it out, the venue and all of that when it comes to Las Vegas. But it's already set up that it's going to be a December fight. And the reason why we know this is because Bomac said, yeah, sometime in December. We just haven't had a date. So when your trainer, who's also your business manager, notice I have to use the word business because that's exactly what Bomac is, says we got the rematch clause activated. That's basically meaning that it's going to happen. That's why you saw Bomac even went to say, well, the outcome is still going to be the same. He could say that bullshit and fuck shit all he wants. But guess what? Even he knows they can't get out of it. So when you have people on YouTube talk about other shit, it's because the problem is, and I done told you guys, a lot of these content creators, they're garbage. They don't know how to just talk about one thing and give you different nuances about one thing. So they have to give you U-turns. They have to give you other narratives about other things just to how do they call that? Just to add to the pot, to make their pot spicy. But me and Ross could talk about one thing over and over again, and it'll never be boring. We'll never be dry at it. What people should be talking about from a boxing standpoint is the rematch. I don't care if you say Crawford is going to beat the shit out of Errol Spence. At the end of the day, we can't force anybody's opinion, and we can't tell people how they can and can't think. But give your stupid ass opinion about the rematch. Don't give us opinions about fights that really realistically can't happen. Crawford realistically can't get out of this contract. Al Heyman as Terence Crawford, and again, hopefully you don't get your manginas in a bunches. Hopefully it doesn't arouse the homosexuality in Terence but Crawford fanboy man crushes. But Al Heyman and Steven Espinoza literally has Terence Crawford by the balls. Right. Because he's in a 2-fight deal. He can't get out of it. The only way he can get out of this shit is if he dies, God forbid, or he's paralyzed, God forbid. But he can't get out of this shit. That's just like Canelo. Canelo is in a 4-fight deal with PBC. Al Heyman has him by the balls. He can't get out of it. The only way that this motherfucker can get out of it is if he dies, God forbid, or is he paralyzed, God forbid. So at the end of the day,
they could breach it. They could breach it, but I'm quite sure the penalty to breach it is probably gonna be worse than them just taking the fight.
Al Heyman is so shrewd as a businessman that you see how Bob Arum and them put guys on lawsuits and then they sit out for 5 years or whatever. Al Heyman's contract is so ironclad and so proof that if these motherfuckers try to act up, he can make them like sit on their boxing career for the rest of their life and don't even step into the ring. Right. That's how iron proof that fucking contract is. That's why these motherfuckers ain't got no choice to fight, because Al is giving you everything. Al's sweetening the pot up for the fighter so much to the point to where if the fighter reneges on him, I wouldn't want to be in that position. That's all I'm gonna say. I wouldn't want to be in that fucking position.
Exactly, man. But it goes to show you. It goes to show you that boxers aren't what's wrong with boxing. It's the fans that are.
Yep.
If you're a fan, why are you trying to create scenarios where they don't got to fight each other?
Exactly.
why are you not admitting that Errol Spence did not look like himself?
Exactly.
Like, why are you not saying, like, you know what, he won, but Errol Spence didn't look like himself? Why
And
are you
Crawford
not
didn't look like himself either. Earl wasn't Earl, and Crawford
right?
wasn't Crawford.
Right? Why are you bringing up scenarios to where you could try to duck a fight? On one, because you can't have it both ways. You can't say on one hand, my man dominated your man, and he'll never. Then on the other hand, say we don't want a rematch. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
That's easy money, right? You can whoop him so
Yep.
easily. Do it again at
Yep.
154. Do it
Exactly.
again without taking snacks. Do it again without manipulating your gloves.
Exactly.
Really do it this time, since it's so easy.
Yep.
The problem is these niggas know Crawford cheated too.
Yep. And
But they're the type of people
trying to
they
get him
cheat.
to weasel out of the situation.
Right.
Let's call a spade, man.
They're the type of people, they give their word, they weasel out of it. They tell people they're gonna be there, they don't be there. They call, they don't show. Their word is their bond. If they don't feel like doing something, they don't do it. They have women mentalities, so they support this bitch like behavior.
Mm-hmm.
They support a man that will say, on one hand, I struggle to make 147. On the other hand, saying, I don't know where the fight's going to be at. Errol didn't tell me. So I think it's going to be at 147. If you struggle to be at 147, then how do you think the fight going to be at 147?
Exactly.
Either you're saying that at capping, or you know that your best chance is Errol Spence being dehydrated.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, it's a bitch move. That's why I tell people never compare him to Floyd.
Yep.
Floyd moved up and fought De La Hoya at 154.
Yep.
He moved up and fought Cotto at 154. When he was A side, he couldn't have made Cotto come down to 147. But Floyd, even Floyd knew that would have been worth watching because he would have just knocked Cotto out because Cotto would have been dehydrated.
Exactly.
Never fucking compare Crawford to Floyd Mayweather Jr.
Never.
Ever.
Never.
Y'all give Crawford the credit. Y'all give Crawford for credit. Y'all said Floyd used to do. Y'all said Floyd used to run for people, did fight people at their best. That's what Crawford and Canelo do. Y'all give them credit.
Yep. Floyd is 26-0, man. And again, what Floyd has done is unprecedented.
50-0. 26-0. What, championship fights?
In championship fights.
Yeah.
Then what he's done is unprecedented.
Right.
It's unprecedented, man. Like, who is fucking 26-0? And that's the equivalent of Jordan Gordon in the NBA Finals and winning 26 times, bro. That's why I said, to me, when I really have to dissect it and look at it for what it is, Floyd is not blowing smoke up his ass, man. He is actually the greatest athlete ever. When you think about it, he's the greatest athlete ever. The shit that this man has done is unfucking precedented, bro. Like, it's ridiculous to dominate for 2 decades in an individual sport. You understand the high level of pressure, the degree of pressurized situations. I mean, even I remember Kobe, and I've never seen Kobe like that. Only time I've seen Kobe like that was when he's around Jordan or Michael Jackson. I saw Kobe was in complete silence, and Floyd was like, you could tell Floyd was kind of mentoring him, and he was in silence because even Kobe understood the greatness of Floyd, dog. Like, Floyd was just talking. If you're around that level, you just gotta shut up, man, and take it in, bro, because this motherfucker's 26-0 in championships.
Right.
Dominated for 20 fucking years. Like, what are you gonna tell him?
Yeah. There was a big respect level there. Because I remember Kobe's like, all right, I gotta take off. I remember Floyd said, man, make sure you call me. You never heard Floyd tell nobody.
Yep.
Make sure you call me.
Call me. Never.
He know you gonna call him because I'm Floyd. But he respected Kobe enough. He respect Kobe grind because Kobe grind like him.
Yep.
Like make sure you call me, bro. You know what I mean? Blase, blase. But they had a good little talk, and Floyd talked the most.
Yep.
And all because you're dominant don't mean you have to battle for who get the last word.
Exactly.
When you have the mutual respect for somebody, sometimes you don't have to say shit.
Nah.
Even if they say something that you already know, you don't gotta say shit.
Exactly.
Because they deserve that right to speak how they deserve that right to talk their talk.
Exactly.
They earned that.
Yep.
I'm quite sure he wouldn't let LeBron talk to him that long.
Nah, Kobe. And here's the thing: if you notice, anytime Kobe's around LeBron, Kobe does more of the talking. He shuts LeBron up because he doesn't want to take in anything LeBron has to say because LeBron can't really teach him shit. When Kobe's around people, if you notice, when Kobe's around people, I hate Kobe really has this superiority and inferiority complex, and motherfuckers don't catch that shit. I catch it because I'm like that, and Ross knows that about me. If I'm around a motherfucker that I really can't learn, I'm very impatient. Like there's nothing you could teach me, so you
Right.
really wasted my fucking time and my energy. Ross is
Right.
not like me. Ross kind of give people more of the benefit of the doubt. I don't.
No, I'm
You
definitely
know
like
what I'm
that.
saying?
I just don't verbalize it.
Yeah,
While they talk, I'm like, what the fuck is this nigga talking about? You know what I'm saying? But I get everybody the respect, the
yeah,
talk. And then
yeah.
once I prove, I'm not gonna go out to prove that you're as dumb or not. But once I
Mm-hmm.
prove that you don't really have to handle the situation, once you keep trying to go back and forth with me, that's my
Mm-hmm.
just like, hey, you don't know what you're talking about, man. Just
Yeah,
shut the fuck up. This is how it's
yeah,
gonna be, da da da. But
yeah,
but I'll let you get off your initial thoughts. I'll let you get out. But nah,
yeah,
you can't preach no sermon to me,
yeah. Because
and you don't know
what
what you're
I've
doing.
done,
Yeah,
what I used to do is I used to just hear them out, and even though I know they're gonna say something dumb as fuck, I hear them out, and then I'll give a direct response to kind of check them to say what they said was stupid. Now in my, I don't know if it's we in our 40s, so this is a different swag with us now. Now being in my 40s, it's more like I won't even stand there to take that dumb shit that you trying to tell me. I'll just say, hey, I gotta go. Cause I don't want you to stain me with that bullshit you about to tell me.
right.
Especially when I know the bullshit gonna come out your mouth. I just say, hey, I gotta go. And they like, you're not gonna say, no, I gotta go. Cause
Gotta
I don't
go,
even want to
man.
take it in. Because what
Yeah,
people gotta understand is when people talk, even when you try to filter it out, you can take in what someone is saying, and
yeah,
it could come inside of you, like literally.
right,
So I just don't even allow it to even come inside of me because I don't even want to deal with that bullshit, man. Like I
right,
don't even want to take in that bad energy. Next thing you know, it fucks up my whole day. So I just
right,
step off. You know what I'm saying? It's whatever.
right.
But I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna make it very clear. This dude says salute. He knows everything. Tom Ross on the chat. He knows you just answered the question I had. Bomac said the fight will be in December. This is great. We don't have to wait for 2024. Thanks for that, bro. Yeah. If y'all follow this
We
platform,
never
as a
had to
matter of
wait till
fact,
2024. Y'all have to pay
as a
attention
matter of
to
fact,
Errol
farmhand,
Spence.
farmhand, I mean, if you appreciate that we responded, because again, this is a He Knows Everything and a brick by brick exclusive, I would think that you would donate to motivate. You know what I'm saying? Like we're giving you guys the answer that these beta males are not giving you guys. So that deserves a donation. That alone deserves a check. I mean, let's be honest here. It
Yeah,
deserves a check. And there's a thing in the Bible says, if a man work hard for his keep, then he deserves his keep. And me and Ross, we work hard for our keep, so we deserve
mhm.
our keep. So donate to motivate, brother.
Yeah. It's just people don't realize this. You got to take what these other guys say with a grain of salt because a lot of shit
Mhm.
they do is shit. A lot of shit they say is shit they want to happen.
Yep.
Then when they say the fight's definitely going down at 147, you got to understand. There's no way that they know that. There's no way that they know that
They
because
don't know that shit.
you have to be in the end to know that.
They just want to sound like Terence Crawford. They want to, because you gotta understand, when people
They,
have never been in a lion position, they've never been in a strongman position, they act up. They show you they've never been in that position before.
right,
Terence Crawford has never been in the position that he's in right now. So what you're getting from him is diatribes of him acting like he thinks he's been in the position, but he really sounds like a little kid in a
right,
grown man's position. His fans are in the same way. They're trying to tell you the shit that me and Ross and people that have always been in lion field positions tell you. We starve you out. We tell you, no, this is not going to work this way. This is the way that it's going to work. But them, they go and they do it in an excessive, extreme way that don't make no fucking sense. It's like Canelo
right,
Alvarez. Canelo looked at everything Floyd did and said, you know what? I can't really do it the way Floyd did it in terms of I can't really fight competition and still have my way. I'm going to have my way, but I'm not going to fight competition. So I'm going to
right,
do that part right, like he did it, but I'm going to change it up and make it in my own way. And that's what a lot of people, you have to understand. When you give people money and you give people power and you give people positions, people become more of an animal or more of a acting version of who they originally were. So if they originally were an ass, they're going to be more of an ass.
Right.
If they were originally a beta male, they're gonna be a super beta male. That's how people are. Once they have money, they have power and position. They're just gonna be a more extreme version of who they are. If they were
Right.
alpha before they had money, they become super alpha, or they become true alpha when they have money. People are going to be the way that they are when money is in their actual hands. So when you look at Terence Crawford, all of this Good Morning America, all of this being on TV, this shit is new. He's not used to this shit, bro. And when it's all said and done, I appreciate you sowing that seed there. That's good that you sowed the seed to Haiti. That's a good thing. You sow it to our fellow Levites. I don't have no problem with that. Salute to you on that.
Straight
We was
up.
just saying, if you had the opportunity to donate to motivate, do that. If not, your participation is great. But
Right.
anybody else here in the chat, donate to motivate, man, because we're here giving you guys what nobody else in the YouTube platform is giving you guys when it comes to boxing and it comes to real life topics. We're telling you guys the truth and we're hitting it on the bullhorn. We're not fence straddling. We're hitting it straight exactly where it's at, and we're giving you definitive responses. And the definitive response is the second fight is going to happen. It's going to happen in December. We just don't know the date. The date hasn't been filled because, again, when it comes to fighting, they got to do venues. They got to do all that. You got to understand, boxing is very busy now. They got Canelo and Charlo that's coming up September 30th. They got a heavyweight fight. I don't know if it's going to be, it's Tyson Fury versus Nanangu, whatever the fuck you want to say his name. Then they still got a Deontay Wilder date. So they have to sort all of that out. Plus, they got Crawford and Spence too. They have to sort out the date. They got to sort out the venue. All of that's behind the work scenes. It takes time.
Mm-hmm.
And you won't find out about all of those nuances until probably October or some shit like that. But the second fight is going to happen. Bomac confirmed it. And the reason why Derek James is not really talking about it is because Derek James got humbled. Like, Derek James was really running his mouth when he got the last trainer of the year. He was really feeling himself. And I love sometimes when people in life got to get humbled when they feeling themselves because it brings them back to the basics.
Yeah.
Now what you're getting from Derek James is a hungry trainer that realized, you know what? Even though the fight was a cheating fight, there was a lot of nuances. I still didn't train my fighter all the way that I was. I didn't give my fighter all the full access he deserved because there's no way for the biggest fight of a fighter's career. This is how you could tell that first fight was a fake fight. And it was actually a fight that it was a lost fight. Maybe Derek James was coerced.
Spence was sacrificed.
Maybe Derek James was coerced to do that on purpose because I've never seen Derek James not just give Errol Spence 100% of the time. Right. Maybe that was in the script. Like, just slightly train him, slightly look his way. I mean, this shit looked like some Adonis Creed first one where Adonis Creed is hitting the bag by himself and then the trainer's coming in to check in every now and then. That's what the shit looked like.
Right.
It wasn't even for real. Because when this is your prize fighter, this is the fighter that has made you who you are. This is the fighter that has even given you a stable of fighters. Everybody else, it comes second, man. Like, that's just a foregone conclusion. So right then and there, that told you something was off with that scenario. But that's if you're really paying attention to the nuances. And then Derek James checks the glove at the end of the fight. Who does that? As a trainer, you don't check the gloves before the fight. Like, all of these little nuances tell you something was up. They had a mic up on and a screen up on Errol Spence, and you can look at Errol Spence's face. He's not warming up. Dude is dry as hell. I've never seen this before. But Terence Crawford is practicing punches, and you could tell the punches he was practicing was pretty much the telegraph punches he did in the fight. He knew he was going to hit Errol behind the head so he could throw his equilibrium off. Then once he did that, okay, now it's time to well him with those padded, loaded gloves and this super serum soldier cocktail strength that I have all of a sudden. Now it's time to well on his ass.
Right.
That's what he did. That's why Errol popped blood from round one, because this guy was enhanced with abilities. If you guys ever watch Luke Cage, you'll know what I'm talking about. Bushmaster made Luke Cage bleed because Bushmaster had that damn nightshade in him.
Because he was enhanced like a motherfucker too.
He was enhanced like a motherfucker too. But you think if he wasn't enhanced, Luke Cage would have been bleeding? Hell no.
Right. You gotta understand one thing. It's one thing to bring AJ and Ryan to the stable. Who gonna turn down money? But there's timing is everything. You're gonna do this before the biggest fight of your career.
Mm-hmm.
You'll say, "Hey,
Exactly.
after this fight, I'll be able to take y'all on, man.
Yeah.
I'll be able to take y'all on." Matter of
Yep.
fact, after the rematch of this fight, I'll be able to take y'all on, man.
Yep.
Yeah, it keep me in your mental Rolodex. You
Yep.
won't be doing all this shit all at once, man. But people don't understand this. Everybody who's ever been trained in a year, they always have suspect fights. They gotta
Yep.
sacrifice somebody, man.
Yep.
Floyd Mayweather Sr. and Uncle Roger had the best
Never got
fighter.
it.
A lot of people will agree with me that he's the best fighter who ever lived. They never won trainer of the year.
Yep.
But guess what? They never sacrificed Floyd neither.
Yep.
If they would have sacrificed Floyd, they would have won trainer of the year.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Freddie Roach won it. And how many times was Manny Pacquiao sacrificed?
Right.
Jeff Horn, Timothy Bradley. These are fights. Let's be honest. Manny Pacquiao wasn't supposed to lose.
Yeah. But he wasn't on this game.
Exactly.
He was on this game for Floyd. Imagine if he would have prepared like he prepared for Floyd against Timothy Bradley.
Oh,
It would have
Timothy
been a
Bradley.
watch. That's the best. People don't realize that's the best Manny Pacquiao you ever gonna see is when he fought Floyd.
Timothy Bradley would have died. Timothy Bradley would have died in the ring, man. I'm gonna be honest with
Right.
you. And the same goes true for Jeff Horn, because Manny Pacquiao was landing some shots in seldom moments, but because Floyd was just so good, it didn't really like affect Floyd like it would affect these guys. These guys, it would have affected them. Manny would have been landing this shit consistently every fucking round on every motherfucker. And the only time it really landed on Floyd was Floyd got sloppy. But when Floyd was not sloppy, that shit wasn't landing.
Yeah. Well, at some point you're gonna get hit in the fight.
Yep.
At some point you're gonna get hit. And he got it. If he's Manny Pacquiao, at some point he gotta land a punch.
Yep.
Like you can't go a whole fight and not hit a nigga. But people take for granted that Floyd got one of the best chins in the business.
Yep.
And he's not just a special fighter. He got one of the best chins in the business.
I mean, the Shane Mosley fight revealed that.
Yeah.
I mean, he got hit on the
button. So he ate that shit.
And then he got hit again. He got hit on the button, and he got hit with a super combo. And he just like he just had that transformer moment.
Right.
Yeah, that motherfucker went into Optimus Prime mode, man. After that shit,
it was over for Shane. It was over for Shane.
People don't understand how lethal Optimus Prime is, dog. They really don't. And here's the thing, Ross, and I have to say this because it's very important to say this. Errol, there's nothing wrong with Errol. All these people trying to say Errol need to change this, change that. Errol just wasn't Errol that night, man. This is that simple. And Terence Crawford was not Terence Crawford that night. It's that fucking simple. If you really look at the mechanics of the fight, you really look at the nuances of the fight, that's exactly what happened. It's funny how half of Texas, to me, that is more appalling than anything else, but half of Texas left this dude. In my mind, I'm like this. Okay, y'all don't need to come back, because this was going to happen. When the minor setback for the major comeback happens and Errol is restored, all of these motherfuckers that left him, all of a sudden are going to show back up again.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need you. Like, literally, we do not need you. And then the fence straddling fans that have already revealed themselves, me and Ross prophesied they were going to do this, like the chump sides and all of these weirdos. They now are put themselves on blast. So really, when Spence is back in that lion position, don't be surprised, like he did with Blue Blood Sports TV. Don't be surprised if he starts talking shit to these motherfuckers. Oh, now you went on that side, because it seems like he remembers these things. Oh, you went on that side. Now you want to come back over here, because that will be brought up. All I'm trying to tell people is, if you are already in a position where you were leaning towards someone, just lean towards that person you always wanted. If you was always a Terence Crawford fan, lean towards a Terence Crawford fan. If you were always an Errol Spence fan, lean towards that. I respect Terence Crawford fans that were Terence Crawford fans through and through, and I know who they are, because they've always let your ass know from day one this is who the fuck they were. But these motherfuckers that's jumping ships, these motherfuckers that all of a sudden, oh, Bud is the best, We don't want to see the fight anymore. Let me dry that beta male moisture right there. It doesn't fucking matter. Your emotions and your feelings don't fucking matter. Nobody cares about your emotions and nobody cares about your feelings about you saying you don't want the fight to happen. It is a 2-fight contractual obligation. So get your mangina in the bunches and realize the fight is going to happen whether you want to see it or not.
Mm-hmm.
And if you was paying attention to the contract, they've been using terms like bi-directional, bilateral, rematch. There's a reason why they've been saying that. That's been a new little nuance they've been using in boxing since Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder fights. Because they're the first ones to really institute that shit.
Right. But here's what people don't need to realize: when the betas just say what makes them feel good, it's kind of like a child. Some childs, they have certain things they do to calm themselves down when they're upset. Some might rock, a girl might twist their hair. They have certain things like calming things, right?
Yep.
When these betas saying all this saying that, they're calming their anxiety. The anxiety is they never want to see Errol Spence and Crawford fight. They were relieved when Crawford won. Yep. They don't want to see it again because they can't take the fact that what if Crawford loses?
Exactly.
They taking it like they're in the ring with Errol Spence because their psyche is tied in to another man.
Yep.
I like Errol Spence. I respect him. My psyche is not tied up into a man.
It's really not.
To him don't have shit to do with me. I want the best for him.
Yep.
If I think it's some cricket shit, I'm gonna speak for it. But I'm not going to sleep at night thinking about that. You know what I'm saying? Just because I call me weird, but I've been through a lot of shit in my life, and sports don't register that high with me. I love it, but it don't register that high with me where I would not say something I truly feel because I don't want because I'm tied into another nigga legacy. You know what I'm saying? But
I'm sure there's guys probably on the live. I'm sure there's guys in their channels, guys that were rooting for Spence. They probably went through PTSD. They probably went through all kinds of shit. I'm gonna tell you right now, me and Ross behind the scenes have been laughing it up. We've been getting a lot of ass. We've been having our little drinking moments. Right. We've been having a lot of powwows where we've been having fun, man. Because to us, our lives do not revolve around Errol Spence. We talk about Errol Spence. We support Errol Spence. We rock with Errol Spence. But guess what? Errol Spence don't make or break us.
Right.
So when you are a person that is so interwoven with boxing is your life, because remember there was that dude, he was listening on the phone, that dude that D. Jefferson thought he was going to bring on, that was going to show me up. Yeah. And I made that comment to that dude. I said, damn, man, while I'm sitting here having fun, it sounds like, because he said he had a girlfriend. I said, it sounds like your girl would be more annoyed than you with anything, because that's all you talking about. Boxing, it sounds like that's something you talk about 24/7. It sounds like you live your life 24/7 like that. Right. Nobody wants to be around a motherfucker that's like that. You do realize, right? Then when I started saying that, he was getting angry, he was getting mad. Because what people got to realize is no one likes an excessive motherfucker. Right. In your life, you should be balanced. There's a thing called homeostasis for a reason. You have to have balance in life. Gotcha. There's a thing in the Bible that tells you there's a time to eat, there's a time to sleep. But guess what? There's a time to fuck. There's a time to party. There's a time to do business. There's a time to powwow. There's a time to congratulate. There's a time to be sad. There's a time to be happy. There's a time to be joyous. There's a time to be patient. There's a time to go through long suffering. There's a time to have self-control. There's a time for patience. There's a time for discipline. Basically, there's a time for everything. Right. And if you're not maximizing the time for everything in life, you're missing the biggest point.
Right. If your life evolve, and your life evolve around people you don't know, to where you know what I mean, like you gotta check yourself, man. But at the end of the day, there would be no alphas if there wasn't no betas. Yep. That's how you determine who alpha. You know what I'm saying? It would be. I
Exactly.
would have no baby. It wouldn't be no such thing as a good, solid woman if it wasn't tramps, hoes, and sluts. You know what I'm saying? It
Exactly.
just wouldn't be. That leads us
Yep.
to this fucking Remy Ma.
Oosh, I love the way you segue that motherfucker.
That leads us to that, man. You
Remy
know,
Ma. Remy Ma is the example of women never fully understand what they have until they start fucking with it.
right?
Because women have this thing, and the Bible says it. Women are very fickle. As a man, it is your job to cultivate women. Women can't cultivate themselves. I heard
Right.
the great Miles Monroe, God rest his soul. That was one of them fire preachers, man, that you could just tell his life, the way he moved. The dude was real, man. And one thing he said was at Eden, when God created Adam, he created Adam with the sense of Adam was created to serve him first. That was his number one thing, to serve
Right.
God. Then his second thing was purpose, because he told Adam, go to work. Then, after those two were indoctrinated in the man and put into the man, then God realized, okay, he can't be alone. Then I need to give him a helpmeet. So let me pull from his rib and let me give somebody to help support those things. But to support the two main things, what are the two main things to support? Him serving me and
His
him
work.
fulfilling his purpose.
Right.
So when he said that, it all made sense. A man's thing is respect and loyalty from a woman. When a woman cannot show a man respect and he cannot show that man loyalty,
She don't love him.
she's a scumbag. She's
Right.
trash.
She don't love him because love is not a feeling. Love is
Exactly.
love is a sacrificial action.
Yes.
Love is when somebody call you late at night and you just barely went to sleep, but you love them, so you hear them out like, "Hey man, what's up, man? What's going on?" But you don't know. You could be the last person they talk to before they kill themselves.
Yep.
That's love. Love ain't
Yep.
on your terms. Love is always it's an all encompassing thing. So when a bitch
Yep.
say, "If you I do this, I love you up to this point," or "I'll do everything but this," or "I'll never submit to a man," you look at a woman who don't love you.
Exactly.
Because a woman who loves you will submit to you. She won't submit to any man, but she wouldn't be with you. She didn't love you, and so she wouldn't
Yep.
be with you. She wouldn't submit with you, submit to you.
Yep.
And if she
It
is,
should
it's
never be.
because
It should never be conditional.
right. If she's with you and she won't submit to you, it's because you serve a purpose. You're not a real person to her. You're not a man to her. You probably
Yep.
paying her bills, and she probably lazy as fuck. Don't want to pay her own bills. It's probably some
Mhm.
shit, but she don't. You guys don't have a mutual understanding of way out together.
Yep.
And most men come into relationships in good faith.
Yep.
Most women, a lot of women do not. And you have to
Yep.
understand when she is in good faith, she's in lockstep with you and she's submissive. When she's
Yep.
not, everything's a battle. Very moody, temperamental. Don't think she got to submit.
Yep.
Think she only can submit to so much.
Mhm.
Never take accountability. You deal with all this shit when a woman just with you because what her mama taught her. Use what you got to
Yep.
get what you want. Women
Yep.
set their daughters up to be fucked up. They
Yep.
raise them to be that way. To
Yep.
see a man as what a man can do and not as a person.
Yep.
Yep.
And it's a means to an end. Now, so true. If you said once she loses respect, ain't no getting it back. It's a wrap. That depends. For the most part, it depends on the level of the respect that she's lost. Like there's some shit you can't come back from. That's
Yeah.
true. But there are instances like let's say he started slacking, like he was in shape, but he just got fat. You can
Don't
come back
matter.
from that.
That's her husband. It's just a death do you part. Is he beating on you? Is he down there killing you? Is he raping you? Is he putting his foot in the back of your fucking head, stomping you out?
Mhm.
No. So that
Mhm.
don't make no sense. Niggas worry too much about what women lose. Fuck what they lose. How about she worry about not losing my respect?
Mhm.
I could lose her respect. I don't mean a goddamn
Mhm.
thing. She better not lose my respect.
Mhm.
I'm the man. Y'all be looking at
You're absolutely right about that. But I'm talking about from the sense of the man himself and what the man's standard is. Like, it ain't really about the chick or whatever. I'm just saying that that's something he can get back, because all you got to do is just go back to the gym. It's that simple.
Right.
But with her, with a woman, the biggest thing with them is women are finicky. And as a man, you got to understand that regardless the chick you with, they're going to be like this. It is your job as a man to be like this.
Right.
The second you start being like this with her, you're going to make the situation a double.
Right.
So it is your job as the man to cultivate. Even the best of the best supposed women, you're supposed to lead them and cultivate them to a certain degree, because women can be led off track and they can veer off fucking track. And you could tell when your woman is veering off track or being led off track. That's when you have to have those moments where you got to kind of coach her from time to time. If you got a great woman, you don't need to sit there and be in her ear every fucking second.
No.
But every now and then you got to drop inklings of coaching to her. Because if you don't do that, she can easily, and when I say easily, even with the best of them, she can easily be veered away. The Gardener Eden proved that, because all she had to do was be shoo-shooed, charmed by the fucking snake, which really was a man, but charmed that way. And then what happened? She was veered away. Eve represented the best of women. I'm talking about, she was the best looking. She was immortal. I mean, if you really want to like think about it, I'm sure she was a very beautiful, gorgeous, curvy, you name it, woman in all aspects. And she was veered away. You could tell before the crooner came in and charmed the hell out of her, she was doing everything Adam told her to do. But even she got whisked away. So that just shows you, regardless of the woman that you're with, as a man, it's your job to cultivate and coach them. Now, what you don't tolerate is you don't tolerate the lack of respect and the lack of loyalty.
Right.
Remy Ma, she was out of pocket because she was right there sitting with a guy having what was called an intimate dinner. Hands was being held. Conversations look very, when it's blurred lines, that's out of pocket.
It's out of pocket.
It's fucking out of pocket. And especially when you've been in a marriage that supposedly in Hollywood was looked at a successful one for over a decade. People was looking at their situation and saying, damn, man, look at them, they strong, they stand together. He hang through with her when she was incarcerated, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's a level of respect that you have to show your man when you're around other men, that real women know that shit. They don't, that's something that they don't even need to be taught. Their mom should have taught them that shit growing up. Like, it should have been embedded in their theology that there's just certain things you don't do. And one thing you don't do is sit there and have a dinner with a dude to that parameter, especially with drinks involved, because you know, once alcohol gets involved, and at the end of the day, this dude got a dick. All he got to do is say certain things. Conversation is going to get relaxed. He gets to the flirting, and shit fucking happens.
You don't supposed to be doing nothing with no man that your husband don't know about.
Yep.
Nothing. That could very well have been a business occasion, but the fact that your husband don't know about it leads me to believe that it wasn't, or leads me to believe that you didn't want it to be just that.
Why not happen during the day, during office times? Why happen at night at a damn restaurant where it's like what couples would do for a date night? Why are you having it there?
But that would happen when you with a bitch who constantly tell you, no man don't tell me when to do nothing, blah blah. You with a woman who openly tells people she don't submit to you.
Yep.
So she gonna do what she want to do.
Yep.
And niggas always say, like, I don't want a woman that submit to me. I want a woman that do wherever she so desire. And when she start doing whatever she so desire, then niggas be on this bitch crying, talking about that bitch was a hoe, she was slept. Like, no. She could have been very well been put in line if you to start from the beginning.
You know what's going on, Ross? They're warring against their own biology.
Yeah.
Because their biology is telling them they're not happy with her doing that.
Right.
But in their mind, they've been polluted into thinking they should be that way. So
It
it's
should
like a
be that
war
way.
against themselves, man.
And it's not till they get divorced or get cheated on till they start feeling remorseful. Then they just take it out on men and say, well, the man was wrong. But in reality, when they die on their deathbed, they know that they fucked up a lot of situations by not being what they're supposed to be, which is submissive. You know what I'm saying?
And you know, it's interesting you said that because that goes to Adam 22. Yeah, everybody's like, oh, he's a porn star or whatever. But it's interesting that the black porn star that was banging his chick out, Lena the Plug, he said out of his own mouth, if that was my woman, I wouldn't let her do that. But why is he saying that? Isn't he a porn star too?
Right.
People try to use that as an excuse and say, well, they're porn stars. But why did the black porn star say to each his own? But if it was my woman, I wouldn't let her do that.
Yeah, right.
Interesting that he said that.
Because only a beta male sees it that way. Well, I'm a porn star. That means my girl should be able to suck whoever. Like, no, she can't do what I do. Certain things, I don't give a fuck. And if it's unfair, just find another man. You can't you can't sit under my protection, under the roof I pay bills for, and be fucking everybody else. Have them pay your bills. Go be with them. You can't do that. And if you don't like it, you can always go somewhere else. It's that simple.
And like I tell any of these women, because they always say, well, that's a double standard. Life's not fair. Life is not fair.
Life is not fair.
Because women have certain privileges that men don't have. And guess what? When men are fucking multiple women, it brings up their social status. It shows them that they are the man. That's how life tells us. But when women are fucking multiple men, it says that she's a hoe. She's a harlot.
Right.
That's what it says. Life's not fair.
Deep down, women don't even want that. They doing that just because they doing that because they want to think. They want to say, "Oh, if a man do it, I could do it." They doing shit they don't even want to do, just because they think men do it. Like Shorty doing that because she feel like if she was a man, that she wouldn't have to answer to. She wouldn't have to answer. But at the end of the day, even a good man won't do no shit like that. He won't do that. You know what I'm saying? Even if he got two wives. You got two wives. The other one know about the other one. They know about each other. When you are starting to be a good man, it's even some shit you wouldn't do that you could do to get away with. Even some shit you wouldn't do. You'd be like, hey, I'm about to take this business meeting. Blah, this and the third. Don't wait up with this and the third. And then you definitely wouldn't be caught in compromised positions at the meeting where it looked like y'all about to kiss and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Because you there for a meeting. You know what I mean? These bitches that's going to show you the type of people a lot of times they be like the woman is God or the woman's equal to the man. That go to show you if God did make it that way, the type of things they'll do. If God did make it that way, it made women would be taking advantage of be destroying in every case.
Here's the thing, Ross, and we both got the scriptures. If God made it that way, it would be in the scriptures. It would be in the word.
Right.
We would see it literally in the word. That's what it was. But it's not in the word. The word says she's the helpmeet.
Right.
Like, it's that simple. Like, it would be written. It would be very clear that I created you two beings, and you two beings are equal, and you two beings have to coexist. But it's not written that way. It's not created that way. And here's the thing. I was watching Fresh and Fit podcast the other day. I laughed my ass off because what's that dude's name? The bald-headed dude. We both kind of like him. He's very like animated and shit like that. His name's not coming to me. I think he had got arrested or whatever. But there was a dude that came in on the show to try to rob Fresh and Fit. You know, he stood up and basically said, I'm going to protect all of the women. He stood up and said, hey, I'm about to go and fight this dude and tussle with the dude. You know what the women did? That supposedly 5 minutes earlier, they were on the show saying women should be equal. Women should be on the same level with men, blah, 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 blah. As soon as this dude was coming in to try to rob, the women ran. All of them ran in the back behind so they can get cover. And I was laughing because in the part of the show, it said, and these are the species that said that they want to be on the same level. How come he was willing to put himself out there and die, literally, to fight? But then all of y'all go and run. I mean, they hid up under the table and all kinds of shit. So really, are we on the same level when it comes to things of that nature? Because pressure even tells us we're not on the same level. So
and
stop with the bullshit.
I always gotta check men that say Adam failed Eve. Adam failed God. Adam was accountable to God. He's not accountable to Eve.
Exactly.
Eve fell Adam.
Yep.
Adam told Eve not to do it. She did it anyway.
Yep.
What was you supposed to do? Kill her?
Yep.
You supposed to beat her? He said,
Yep.
"Don't do that. We aren't supposed to do that."
Yep.
She did it anyway.
Adam
had done. Adam had.
They keep you wrong when they try to tell you that bullshit.
Hold on. No, it's just they're beta males, and beta. Some people are beta males and don't know it because they see things from a woman's point of view all the time.
Yep.
Adam didn't do anything wrong until he ate himself.
Exactly.
Adam did everything he was supposed to do. He didn't eat of it the whole time he was there. He told Eve not to do it. She did it anyway. Adam wasn't wrong with God to Adam ate. Because Adam, at that point, he had failed God. If Adam didn't eat, then it would just been between Eve and it been against the people who beguiled her. But no, Adam took Eve went and partaked in the nations what they were doing. Adam went right along with her and did it too, even though God told him not to deal with those people. That people don't understand. Genesis is metaphorical. It's not talking about an actual apple they ate and da da da. It's talking about food is doctrine.
Yep.
She went to partake. She went because everybody God made in God's people. God made Adamites. Those was his first group of people. That then down the line, Shemites. Then down the line became Israelites. Right. We come from his seed. We're the only people in the world who come directly from Adam's seed. And through God. Right. So if people don't understand, there's other people God had created. God had told us to be separate from them.
Yep.
You can eat from all the fruits. But you can't eat from that fruit. You can't deal with those people. We deal with them anyway. That's when God said Adam. That's when he came down and he gave judgment. But Adam, nothing happened until Adam did it.
Yep. Adam knew so much that he wasn't in the wrong with Eve that he boldly was saying, "But the woman you gave me." But see, when he said that to God, when he said God, it was not taking accountability for the fact that God had to throw it right back at him, but said, "But you ate from it though."
Right.
That was God's response to him. But you ate from it.
Right.
And that's what he fucked up. All he had to do was just not eat. And if he didn't eat, guess what? Eve would have been the one that would have been punished. And then God would have just gave him another woman. That's it.
He was supposed to take accountability for his actions. And us, God's people still have a problem with that now. We don't take accountability for the sins we sin against God. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because I don't think he ever made Adam. I don't think he ever thought Adam was going to be perfect. But when Adam failed, he didn't get the response he wanted. He wanted the response that he gets when David fell.
Exactly.
When David fell,
a man after God's own heart.
David repents and said, "I did something wrong along the way."
Something happened. David was so quick to say, "Lord, I transgressed." He'll cry, man. David will cry in a song, boy. What?
That's the punishment. The punishment is I'm gonna lose my son. And let me pray, man, because maybe God might change his mind.
Yep.
God, he ain't gonna change his mind. All right, let me get up and let me clean my face and let me go back to running this kingdom because God's spoken. That's it. There's no hard feelings. He accepted the punishment.
Yep. Because God knows, David knows who he's dealing with. He knows he's dealing with the Almighty. Right. So he know I better get on them damn knees. I better cry. Right. I messed up. Like I know what it is. But Adam didn't do that.
Adam didn't do that.
Adam got a little egotistical, man.
Adam blamed God. Essentially, he said, "Nah, you did it."
Yep.
You know.
Oh, okay.
I did it. Right. Okay. Well, let me help you out. Well, let me get you out. Let me get you out of this. Let me get you out of this paradise I created you. Because obviously,
there you go.
All this stuff that I gave you is too much for you to handle. So let me take all this from you. Since I'm the problem, let me be the solution.
That's why there's a scripture that says, those who humble themselves will be exalted, and those who exalt themselves will be humbled, aka abased. So God said, "Oh, you want to exalt yourself? All right, I got you. Yeah. You gonna be abased. Get out of my garden."
Right. Let me help you. Let me help you
out.
Obviously, You just have to be here and tend to this garden and just do what I asked you to do. It's too much. So let me put you out in the world on your own.
There you go. Let me show you what life is really about.
Now you gotta hunt. Now you gotta hunt wild animals and shit.
Yep.
And now these animals will come to you. Now they trying to kill you now.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, let me go ahead.
And you know what's the interesting part about it? We didn't get all those nuances of how Adam was during those moments. I'm sure in those moments, he probably was like, God, I had it so good. Damn. Yeah. I could probably see him because the man lived a long life now. I could probably see him having so many reoccurrences in his mind. Damn, I had it so good. Right. Damn, I messed it up. Now I got to do all this shit. Right. Now I got to hear this woman screaming, and I mean, she was able to have babies with no problem. Now I got to hear her scream, you know, and bear this damn child. What the heck? Like, this is crazy.
Right. That's what people not understanding, man. Like,
so this is the problem when you don't take accountability and you try to put it on God, when in actuality, God was just making it easy for you.
Yeah, a lot of our brothers, they just growing up with a single mother it's a curse, man. Mm-hmm. You don't really understand how to think like a man until you go through shit that you a lot of shit you're going through is shit you should learn from your father.
Exactly.
So you don't have to go through it yourself. So you don't. Yep. So a part of you thinks like a woman. You know what I'm saying? Like on the surface, I see why you said it. Adam failed, but he ain't failed her. Only thing you're supposed to do is warn the people under your roof not to do things. You can't live their life for them.
Yep.
When you tell your wife stop hanging with her, she ain't up to no good. If she hang with her anyway, they go to a club, they damn near get killed. That ain't your fault. God ain't looking at you like, man, you should have been there to save her. Like, no. Yeah. God looking at her like, why you didn't listen to your husband?
Yep.
He warned you. Now you in the hospital, shut the fuck up.
Yep.
Nah, Adam failed God only.
Only. That's what you gotta look at.
That's the case, he would have got judged as soon as Eve would have ate that apple. Or whatever. As soon as Eve would have partaken, he would have got judged then. He ain't get judged until he did it.
Yeah. Eve was out of pocket for entertaining the crooner. Yeah. That I'm sure Adam didn't know about until after so much longer later. Because you know how it is. These chicks will be entertaining crooners and you don't know about it until the time come later on to figure the shit out. See, they don't tell you, like when you're reading the surface of the book, people not realizing there's course of years that are passing here. Course of years, but you're not really looking at it like that. You're looking at it as you're reading something like it's happening right then and there.
Like, nah. It took a while for her. It took a while for her to get pulled to the side. But people don't understand this. He didn't need to know who exactly was doing the pulling. He had told her the bottom line. The bottom line is we're not to deal with that.
Exactly.
She knew that going in. She didn't listen. He did his job. She didn't do her job as a woman. If she did, well, y'all not realize she failed her husband.
Yep.
Adam failed God.
There you go. Ooh, you said it. Yes.
You gotta understand. You gotta understand the Godhead. We're not accountable to her. We're accountable to God to do right by her.
Yep.
We fail God. Women fail men.
Yep.
Women get through God through men. Y'all not understanding that.
And that's why the Bible says that the woman's covering is a man and the man's covering is God. There's a reason for that. It's a pecking order. Yeah.
Cause you gotta understand one thing. You gotta look into how he judged them. Listen to what he said. This is what he said to Adam. He didn't say anything about Eve. Adam brought up Eve.
Yep.
God said, but you ate.
Exactly.
Adam would have been solid, still in the garden right now.
With another chick. With another chick.
He was solid. He did what he was supposed to do. What are you supposed to do? Tie her up and beat her?
Yeah.
He said you can't go over there and do that.
Yeah.
This way he failed God. He became a beta and said, I'm gonna do it too. She did it, ain't nothing happened to her. Yeah. It wasn't supposed to happen to her right away.
There you go.
Because the judgment comes through the man.
Yep. That's why the Apostle Paul said Eve was the one that did the transgression, but sin came into the world when Adam ate.
When Adam ate.
There's a reason why he said it like that.
Adam ate, man. Like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
bro. Like women, it's okay to hold women accountable
Yep.
by themselves, not
Yeah.
in relation to men.
Yep.
By themselves is okay to hold
No.
them accountable. Not to say,
Yep.
oh well, they only do that because of niggas. Nah, there's some women who got good men who act masculine.
Yep.
It ain't they doing that because that's how they was raised.
Raised.
Yeah,
Yep.
people do shit because they want to do it. Everything
Yep.
else is just an excuse. Like
Yep.
like even when he said, "Man, it's because the woman Dow has given me."
Yep.
That was BS, man. That was the
That was
wrong
BS.
answer.
Wrong fucking answer.
In the Navy, when you say something stupid, they be like, "Wrong answer."
God was shaking his head. God was shaking his head in disappointment. Probably God was shaking his head in bewilderment and in disappointment because at the end of the day, it's like, really, this is what you gonna say? Really, dude?
Yeah,
Like, come on, man. I created you to be a man filled with confidence, purpose, abundance mindset, be fruitful, multiply, have dominion over the earth, and you're not sounding like none of that right now.
right.
You're not even sounding like a mimic version of me. I created you to be in my image, and you sound weak as hell right now.
Yeah, what you mean?
What you mean?
Yeah. Her eating got something to do with her. I'm gonna get to her.
Yeah,
We talking about you right now. You
you.
said, and you brought up your broad. You not
Yeah,
taking up accountability.
hiding behind your broad, dog.
You ain't
What the
taking up
heck?
accountability. You know what
And
I'm
you know
saying?
what? There's a lot of dudes that do that shit even to this
Yeah.
day. That has done this through eons of time. Hide behind their bras, man. Don't
Yeah.
take accountability.
Taking no accountability. And then and they won't take accountability for their own actions, but they got the nerve to try to take accountability for their broad answers. For their broad
Exactly.
actions and shit. And be like, no, man, listen,
Will
put that
Smith.
on me. Put that on me, man. You
Yep.
ain't supposed to put nothing your broad did on you.
Because you're not supposed to slap Chris Rock
Right.
for a shit that your broad did. If
Right.
your broad had a situation with Chris Rock, that's between her and Chris Rock. I'm not
Right.
gonna sit there in your stupidity and get involved. No, that's your dumb shit. You want to be like that, you want to act up, and he's telling a joke about the fact that you really are bald at the moment. Okay, so fucking be it.
So what?
It's
You
a
don't
joke.
you don't risk your whole livelihood on something like that.
Exactly.
And this is the problem. He didn't do that. That's not even his mentality. He did that because he thought that was going to please her.
Exactly.
Because here's the thing. She was laughing. This is how much control she had over him. She was laughing until she saw he was laughing too.
Yep.
Because he was supposed to be mad. And she was supposed to tell him, no, it's okay. But when she saw he was enjoying himself, the
And then she said
narcissist
something to him.
the narcissist in her made her say, nah, he's not supposed to think this funny. So she started acting upset, and that controlled him.
But Will Smith should have known the relationship was doomed because Will Smith was a byproduct of her. He was basically what we would say a married rebound. That's what he was.
Yeah.
She didn't want him. She wanted Tupac.
She wanted
But
Tupac, but
because she couldn't have
control
Tupac,
Tupac.
she
Right.
got the byproduct of having him.
She couldn't control Tupac. So she got a man that she could control that she wasn't her that didn't light her fire.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? The closest she could get to being with you was being his friend.
Yep.
But then she had to hear about the women and all that. She
Yep.
wanted to be more, but he didn't want her that way. Why?
And she was devastated. She was devastated to find out that he married Quincy Jones' daughter. She was fucking devastated.
Right.
Like,
Why?
I should have been in that position.
Right. Why he ain't? But why he didn't? Why that's his best friend? Why? Who don't want to be their best friend? Well, your best friend is masculine, and you think about it, all the women Tupac was with. You never heard from them.
Never.
They knew their role in their place in his life.
Exactly.
You never heard from them.
Well said, man.
So she could never be his wife.
Never.
She can never be his wife.
Ever.
If that go to show you when you imprint a woman, it don't matter what they do.
Don't matter. They
don't matter
always gonna follow you,
who they
man.
trying to see.
Yep.
It don't matter who they trying to see. It don't matter.
Yep.
It don't matter. Somebody I was dealing with has made their move once again when they found out that the situation I was currently in, I'm not in it no more. And so now I welcome on the thought of it, but because I respect the patience and the submissiveness of waiting your turn.
Exactly.
You know
Yep.
you know what I mean? But you have to. You can't
You said something that went over a lot of people's heads, man. I think sometimes you gotta say, when you speak on such a level like that, sometimes you gotta break it down, man. Because that shit went over. You gotta go a little simpler, bro. Like you gotta go a little simpler.
But that's the reason why I be liking doing this live, because I be liking when you come to take over, you expound on it. You know what I'm saying? Because leave it up to me. They can find out this shit 5 years from now. They don't catch it.
Basically, what Ross is basically saying is, you see, every situation in a relationship, and then there's other nuances where you have other people in other relationships. When you're waiting your turn, the next dude is getting his turn, but while the next dude is getting his turn, the whole time this next dude, this quote unquote rebound, is getting his turn, the guy that has imprinted her, the guy who has impacted her, she's thinking about the guy the whole time. She's just using the guy that's the byproduct of the rebound, or the guy that's the byproduct of just you're the current situation now, as a step in. Because women always need that step in. They need that feeling. Right. Remember, they still need that protection. They still need someone to provide for them. They still need someone to care for them. Now, in the protection and the provision and the care, it doesn't have to be an alpha male. It just needs to be a male that's doing that.
Yep.
That's what people don't understand. They're like, but it's beta males that's providing and protecting and caring. Women biologically need those things. They need someone to be right there to protect them, provide for them, and care. It doesn't have to fall under the alpha or beta stratosphere. It just needs to fall under the male stratosphere.
A lot of times they really try their best to get all that from their next dude without even giving him none, man. A lot of us alphas, we automatically assume that they're getting plugged just because they're not with us. But a lot of times that's not even the case.
Sometimes no, that's not. They put these guys through hell.
Sometimes they string a nigga along all the way until the nigga till they realize, oh, I gotta pinch off something for him because I'm losing him.
Because you realize those dudes in those relationships, they got ass only because it was a special occasion. These guys start talking about it. They start admitting what happened. They got asked because of special care, or they got asked because they bought her something, or they had to bribe her into something just to get what they want. Whereas things that came easy for you, like her cooking for you, like her just natural shit she's supposed to do, he had to go to the moon and back to get the same shit.
Mm-hmm.
Even with, man, I'm about to get raunchy here, man, but y'all motherfuckers need to understand this shit. Ross know what I'm talking about. Even when the way a woman suck your dick, guys that women don't respect, you got to look at their face when they got your dick in their mouth. A woman who loves you, when I say love you, she sucked that shit like you are fucking her treasure, man. I'm telling you. Right. She sucked that shit so good, your eyes go back to your head like, what the fuck just happened to me?
Like she's trying to get her approval from you.
Yes.
Not like she need to do this.
They be struggling with. You could tell they'd be like, "Are you?" This is how you could tell when they're annoyed. They'll say, because I be hearing them dudes. They be saying that. Be like, "Are you done yet? Did you come yet? Did you come yet?" A woman that's into you ain't gonna say no dumb shit like that.
Right.
But you be hearing dudes in the barbershop be saying that shit. I'll be like, that's because your woman's not into you like that, bro.
Not into you like that.
Come on, man. They just doing that as a byproduct of what you're able to give. But trust and believe that
she's not really his real woman.
Yep.
She's the woman of the man who imprinted her.
Yep.
A lot of women think they supposed to just, if a relationship don't work, they're supposed to be with another. Like, no, you're supposed to make it work because you only supposed to be with one man.
Exactly.
But that's the reason why you never get over that nigga.
Yep.
Because that's the man you're supposed to be with, the one you can't get over. But you must submit and do what the fuck you told and know your role.
Yep.
See,
that's why I always laugh, man. That's why I always laugh. Any situation that I'm no longer in, I always laugh because I know the level of what I did. I know the level of how I graduated a motherfucker. I know the level of where I left you. It's gonna be very hard. And you're gonna be hard pressed to fill that shoes, to fill those fucking. And here's the thing: I'm my father's son, and as my father's son, one thing that he taught me. And that's what Ross was talking about when he said, man, having a father in your life is pivotal. One thing he taught me was when a situation is done, you don't open the door. Unless God himself come and touch you and say, reopen it, never reopen that door again.
Mm-hmm.
What's done is done. Wash your hand. Pontius Pilate the situation. Wash your hand. That's why when I'm done with a chick, she don't hear from me no more. I don't have no contact with you. I don't deal with you unless it's something that I'm obligated to do from a business standpoint, or I'm obligated because divorce proceedings say that I have to do it. You don't hear from me, man.
Yep.
I'm not checking for you. Like,
right.
I'm not even thinking about you like that, because you're no longer under my purview. You're no longer under my protection. You're no longer under me. So why do I need to deal with you on that level?
I'm blocking them under everything, man.
Yep.
It takes an actual act of God to bring us back together, really, because I don't be checking at all. You know what I'm saying?
Pretty much.
You know what I'm saying? So for us to get back together, they're gonna have to come all the way back and submit.
Mm-hmm.
It's just because you gotta understand, man. You can't be under somebody's protection until you submit and you allow them to protect you.
Yep.
A woman, believe it or not, a woman has to allow you to protect her, allow you to lead her.
Yep.
You can't be with me, and you're under my jurisdiction, you're under my roof, and I can't lead you. I can't protect you. Third, what are we doing here?
Exactly.
I don't need sex that bad.
Nope.
I don't need to deal with a headache. Some niggas be like, yeah, man, you just gotta deal with a woman sometimes. They're a headache, but you can't live with her. I can't be with a woman I can't live with.
Yep.
I won't be able to live with my woman, or else I ain't gonna have one. And I don't believe it. You can't live with them, can't live without them. I can live without them. I prove that shit.
Yep.
You act up. As soon as we rekindle, we can unrekindle.
Yep. It's not that serious. You as a man, you have to tell yourself, and I'm glad Ross said that. As a man, you have to condition yourself. Me and Ross have joked about this, but said it. Man, I'd rather beat my fucking meat in desperation than deal with some damn broad that's trying to put that over my head and control me or whatever. I mean, we don't have to worry about those drops, me and him. But if push came to shove and that was the case, yeah, I'd rather do that, because at the end of the day, you should not be having this thing over your head that a woman is so, you have to be so, wanting something so bad. What that tells us is you have a lack of self-control as a man. Right. You can't control yourself, because you're supposed to be able to control yourself as a man. That's, to me, that's one of the most powerful attributes outside of silence, because a lot of men don't understand silence, and they don't understand when to be fucking silent and to learn shit. Outside of silence, self-control is one of the most powerful tools. There's a reason why it's one of the fruits of the spirit, man. Because when you think of God and you think of the God complex, God, if anything, God has his most powerful attribute is control. The reason why I say this is because how many times could God really end humanity? Because we some hard-headed, stiff-necked, stubborn motherfuckers. But God's control in controlling himself has inhibited him from just saying, you know what? Let me snap my finger real quick.
Right.
So this is why having self-control is such a powerful thing as a man.
You know what I'm saying? You feel me though?
I do feel you. So Ross, man,
because it's only so much you could get for a certain price.
Only so much you can get. It's only so much you can get. You absolutely, Ross. You're right about that. So Ross, what's your closing thoughts, man?
Closing thoughts is, it's good that we got a place like this. His he knows his channel, my channel, brick by brick, where men can come together. We could build that. Look at things from a man's point of view. Look at things from an alpha point of view, and accountability. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, but truth is what's supposed to reign supreme. Not how we feel, not what we want to happen. The truth of the matter at hand.
Yep. I have nothing to follow up with that. This has been a great live, and unfortunately, we could have kept on going, but the lack of the donation for motivation has inhibited it. You guys would have learned more. You guys would have been on point. We had at least another hour and some change of rich information to give you guys, but we cannot continue on if you guys are not doing your part in keeping up and ensuring that we get what we deserve. Because
YouTube has not monetized us. They have taken it away.
Thank you. They've definitely taken it away from both of us, because they basically said we're too real, we're too controversial, and we're too crazy for the tube. So that's why when we're here, we don't just think that we're going to get donated. We expect it.
Right.
Because we're giving you guys a certain level of standard of expectation that comes with that expectation. When a fighter fights in the ring, he's a prize fighter for a reason. He's fighting for a prize, and it's not a belt. He's fighting for money so he can be able to feed himself and his fucking family.
Yeah.
So this is the same with us. We got lives, we got bills, we got shit to take care of. So every time we step into this motherfucker, hand us a damn check for the wealth of information that we're giving you guys. That's why we get on here. If we get on here, then you guys get so used to us. Then you guys get so like, oh, we like it. And then we got to starve you motherfuckers again. That's why we be starving y'all. So if y'all don't want to be starved, donate to motivate.
Why people have to learn is not to support people just because everybody else is doing it or they got a big following. Support the people that actually give you the knowledge. Because Showbiz the adult gets support. He don't even be talking about shit. Blue Blood Sports TV for 9. These people get support for all telling you the same fucking thing.
Yep. Well
so
said, man.
It is what it is, man. No hard feelings. Ain't no hard feelings. Motherfuckers got other shit to do. This man run a business. I write books. We got things we could be doing. So we really go ready to do that shit.
Exactly. He's well said, man. Well fucking said. This live has been great. It's been real. It's been easy. Y'all take care. Peace.